Kaguya-sama is one of the biggest teases I've experienced in the anime medium, and I love it, I do, but this is the first time in a very long time that I let out an audible no when the question wasn't asked. They baited us in so hard, and even though logically I knew this wasn't going to be the moment that the confession would happen, I bought into it. I shouldn't have, but I bought into it, and goddamn, did they deliver on something that was great, but at the same time, it's just like, you teases, why? But thank you, Kaguya, because even though we didn't get the confession, we kind of already got the answer even before the question was dropped, saying, whatever you ask me, it's always going to be yes and gladly. I mean, they've already known, but it's nice to have that confirmation because both of them know what that implies, that whatever you ask me, I am always going to gladly say yes. It's going to be interesting to see who's actually going to be the one to drop the question first, whether it'll be Kaguya or Miyuki, because honestly, Miyuki's been winning quite a bit in this second season, but after this episode, I gotta say, Kaguya's made some great strides in kind of balancing it out, so I feel like they're on even playing fields right now, because she was able to throw a very powerful thing in his face without saying, I want to date you, which is pretty great. This episode was fantastic. It had me laughing, it had me melting, it had me a little bit of rage being like, God damn it, please say that, but they never will, or they will eventually, just not as of right now. And hell, you even start the episode off with basically having Kaguya's maid pretty much try to win Miyuki over, and I have to say, that content alone was pretty fantastic, especially because they added a little bit of drama to it, because she really wanted to, like, I could probably do it in like a month, because she has this pride, she knows what she's doing, and I'm sure, like, the deeper she got into that role, the more she's like, hey, if he says yes, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So it's nice to see how her and her maid were just like, they were going at it there, just saying, hey, I could definitely do it, and if you really keep pushing me, I'm going to do it. I will steal your man. You better stop. And then to see Miyuki, who, you gotta love him. Like, he's such a genius. He is, but he so easily gets roped into situations. And I knew he wasn't going to give in to her and that his heart was definitely for Kaguya. But it's interesting how literally every basic maneuver of how to rope in a guy was being used on him, and he was falling for it hook, line, and sinker. And I have to say, I like that, because it was really nice to see Kaguya in the distance just getting progressively madder and madder, as you see her just, like, if we didn't know who this character was, we would probably think she's the worst person alive, because that is some manipulative shit if you've ever seen it, but it was nice how, like, literally she pretty much, like, just pretended to sleep for, like, 3 hours looking back, making sure that he never left, because if he started to leave, she would probably do something different to keep him there. But, I mean, this dude's a gentleman. He's literally teaching her about laptops, thinking, oh, well, she's doing really great. She's saving money so she can get her own computer so she doesn't have to rely on her family. She's studying for like 10 hours a day. That's really unhealthy, which then combined with the whole sleeping maneuver was really like, okay, yeah, she definitely deserves it. It was really nice to see how that build up, and at no point did I think Miyuki was changing his heart. But I was confused. I was like, man, you're a smart dude. Why are you getting roped into this? But he's just a nice guy at the end of the day. And the fact that he turned her down saying, I have someone I like already, and she even threw it in her face, like, hey, if you have, like, another person you like, that's fine, we can just be a little side piece here. Like, she was laying out all the cards to bring out scummy people, and he didn't fall for it, and it was nice to see how they, like, kind of had that resolution. Like, yeah, she was a little dramatic towards the end, but still, it just made you feel like, this relationship really is progressing, and I was good with that. You didn't need to throw anything else, and then you throw in the confession, and you gotta love that. The misunderstandings of just teenagers is one of the funniest things that you can write, because literally, if you've never been into this classroom and you're summoning someone and you've always been around each other a lot, it's understandable why rumors would spread that this is going to be the confession. Hey, meet me behind the school. It's literally textbook, storybook love, and it was glorious to see how pretty much everyone bought into it other than Miyuki, and by the time he realized what was going on, it was kinda too late. It's gonna be interesting to see the aftermath of that, because, it looked like they had a confession and then they ran off. So I'm sure there'll definitely be some rumors and questions being asked towards them over the course of the next few episodes or even the season in general, and I'm pretty excited to see if they're going to take that. But just that build-up where Chika's like, listen, you thought I was horrible for your speeches, just ask her, she's oblivious to what's happening here. And just the idea that it was some romantic stuff. I have to say, it was arguably one of the most romantic scenes, despite it being one of the funniest scenes, because we know logically what this was supposed to represent. But then when you see blushing Kaguya, and how she's fine with an audience, it's hard to say no. Honestly, was thinking, I was like, this is gonna be the moment. They're going to confess their love, and it's gonna progress the story into a new direction. And Miyuki just couldn't do it. He just whispers in her ear, which is probably for the best, because that way you don't get the, oh, the president's a shitty person, we shouldn't vote for him. But also is like, hey, it's a wake-up call, my bad. But gotta bless Kaguya. Like, she is the MVP of this episode, no doubt in my mind. She saved this situation, saying, no matter what you ask me, I will always say yes gladly. Like, that's amazing to me. If you really look at just season 1 and now 4 episodes into season 2, the progression of Kaguya and Miyuki is so much above most rom-coms out there. They've had so much time to grow and flesh out, while also making us roll off our chairs laughing because it's just that funny. Very few shows can say that, which is why I always say Kaguya-sama is one of my favorite romance comedy anime of all time, and my absolute favorite comedy anime of all time, because it makes me laugh the hardest out of anything I've ever seen. The third act of this episode was actually quite interesting, because we get introduced to the frontrunner, second place, who is just a first year, and I gotta say, before seeing the flyer, I liked the personality and was like kind of agreeing, like, hey, even if you've done well and you're running away with the campaign, why not try to improve what you already have done to prove why you deserve a second chance at, running the school and things like that. And the girl was saying some smart things, I'm not gonna lie, and then you see the flyers and you're like, oh yeah, she ain't gonna win this. It's just kind of glorious. But it was interesting to see Miyuki, of all characters, get shook down by someone not only shorter than him, but also at a similar intellectual level. So it was just an odd anomaly. I was watching this thinking, this is not what I was expecting. You literally show me trying to steal him away, you then show me an almost confession, and then you end it with basically someone on a more equal playing field trying to shake him down for his job, and you gotta love the frustration. And when they bring Chika into it, that's gonna be my vice president, and this girl is melting like a blob. I'm like, why? Why does this show find so many ways to one-up itself? You literally are like crushing your characters in this melting aura. You have like a press like crushing characters' heads in a comedic fashion. They find so many ways to spice up the visual flair, and it always leaves me rolling. Like, this show is absolutely hilarious. If you take the 4 episodes of season 2, compared to the quality of season 1, it feels like a step above, and season 1 was already a masterpiece in my mind. And somehow they're finding new ways to top it, and I think it's simply because we have a good understanding of these characters and their motivations, what makes them ticks, what makes them really happy and in love, so it makes it very easy to see new situations that maybe feel familiar from season 1, but because we have this established connection, it just makes it very organic to say, it feels like we've grown up with these characters, like we've been a part of their school for years, and that's why when you have this romantic scene building up that logically it's not going to end in a confession, you kind of get bought in being like, we've been waiting for this for years, we've always known it's going to happen, when really, for a lot of anime onlys, we literally just started with this show last year, and it's pretty great to see what they're able to pull off in this episode. It just feels like they're structuring it really well, and all the stories in each episode, they feel like they're really well linked. Sometimes in season 1, you could say, oh, this story probably could have been 3 episodes from now and it wouldn't have felt any different. But here, it feels like every episode of season 2, like, you start off with, like, trying to steal a love away. You then go into building up to the real main love, and then you end with the student council kind of, like, shaking down, trying to see who's your competition. It feels like that was an arc. It feels like it was a structured episode, and whether that's exactly how it went in the manga or not, it doesn't matter, because this show is just doing everything right in terms of pacing. I know sometimes they rearrange things, I'm not sure if this was one of those episodes, but all I can say is similar to last week and the week before and the week before that, the pacing and the structuring of the stories feels so tightly connected, and I am so excited for the remainder of this season. Saturdays rock, they really, really do. You get so many great shows, and you're gonna laugh and feel a little dramatic or in awe when you watch a show like Kaguya-sama Love is War. It's just amazing to see this show in action. It just feels like the fact that we literally, for the most part, are set in this school. Sure, they do go places, they go to cafes, and they go on little dates or things that you think are going to be dates, sure, but at the end of the day, it does feel like this show, for whatever reason, this school feels more eventful than most, like, actual eventful anime schools. And what I mean is, like, those schools that have magic, or those schools that have, like, literally devastating stakes at play. Somehow a show about 2 brainiacs who are trying to determine who should say I love you first is more exciting than, honestly, good shows that have eventful things happen in their school, yet all we have is basic high school teen drama love, and we're like, yeah, this is the most exhilarating thing we're watching this week, or one of the most exhilarating. It says a hell of a lot about the quality of this show, that it doesn't feel like it's ever going to grow stale, and once it probably could grow stale, they're just going to progress the story probably in a new direction, and that has me really excited about the future. I mean, I'm always excited for the next week because it's going to be a new episode of Kaguya-sama, and that's going to be amazing. But it honestly feels like the more uncertain the show feels, the more excited I get and the more optimistic I feel about the future of its story and characters. And I mean, just look at how they tease us, making us think the Student Council is going to get disbanded and just looks like it's going to be fine. They find new ways to be dramatic without it feeling like the same type of drama we've already experienced, which is a really good thing, and not many rom-coms can say they get right, at least in the anime medium. As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions, be it for manga readers, anime originals, of this very emotionally and hilarious episode of Kaguya-sama Love is War. As well, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, share your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't been new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.